Hi everyone, myself Shahran Hussain. Welcome to my asynchronous web scraping video part 2. So what I'll be covering today is asynchronous function, coroutine object, what is the difference between asynchronous function and a normal function, asynchronous scraping, implementation of proxies, conclusion. So if you don't know about asynchronous request or asynchronous web scraping, what is the difference between synchronous, asynchronous and multi-threading, do watch my previous video. So without wasting time, let's go to the coding part. So this is the coding part. So here we have two functions. One is add and the other one is my coroutine. So add is doing normal addition, adding A and B. Whereas in my coroutine, we are printing a start statement, we are waiting for 2 seconds and we are printing end statement. But here you can see, like before this function, we have a async, okay? And here we do not have async. So once we are printing this output, so you'll directly get 5, but here you don't know. So without wasting time, first run this code and see like what is happening here. So after running this code, we can see like, okay, this is yielding 5 here, but my coroutine function output is coroutine object. Now what is a coroutine? A coroutine is a special type of function in Python that can pause and resume its execution. So in normal function, from start to finish, there is no pause. But in coroutine, the Python function let other tasks run and then resume it later. Okay. So now let's run this particular asynchronous function via async. Okay. So I'll uncomment this line and let's run this code. So what will happen here is like it will print start first and then it will wait for 2 seconds and then it will print end. Okay. So let's run this code. So you can see like there is a start and there is 2-second wait and then it is printing end. Okay. So why this thing has happened? Because asynchronous function needs a event loop to run them. Okay. The event loop is like a manager that keeps track of many asynchronous tasks and decides when each should run. So if a Python ran asynchronous function immediately, it couldn't manage them efficiently, like pausing at await and switching to another task. Now let's see like what is asynchronous scraping and how we can write it down. So without wasting time, let's go to the another code. So this is our final code. Here we are not using proxies. Proxies part will be explained later. What is happening here is we are creating a URL that is having hundreds of URLs inside a list. There is another function named as fetch. There are two functions mainly, fetch and main. So what does fetch does? So I'll explain this thing. Once I'll explain these 3 lines first. So async with, what does this async with does? Async with ensures connection is cleaned up after usage. What does session.get does? Session.get is somewhat similar to request.get. So this will be used to send HTTP request. Response.status will give you the response code, whether it is 200, 300, 400 or whatever range it is of. Response.text will give you the response body. Now we have used await here. Await is being used so that it waits until the full response body is read. Now what does this, in summary, what does this complete function does is it downloads the page. There is next function main, which is using AIO HTTP client session. Now what is this client session? Client session creates one HTTP session that is reused for all requests. It is very much efficient than making new session every time. Now once I say new session every time means it saves new TCP connection. Every time you will be having new handshake. So each new handshake will consume some time. So you are bypassing that thing. Okay. Now this task fetch session URL for URLs in URLs create 100 coroutine objects, one for each URL. Okay. Now result, await async gather task. Await async gather task runs all the coroutine concurrently and wait for all of them to finish. So these are all the things which we use here to run the thing concurrently. Okay, and the result will be listed here with 100 pages. So finally we will be triggering this main function using async run. So what it will do, it will create an event loop and run the main function coroutine to completion and then closes the loop. Data will contain the result of all the 100 URLs which will be printed here, and then we'll check the start and end time and we'll print it here. So let's run this code and understand how does it works. So now you can see it is fetching all those pages and it is taking only 2 seconds or 2.95 seconds. Okay, so this is the beauty of asynchronous request. So you learned how this asynchronous request is done. Now you must be thinking like how you can implement proxies here. So it is very easy. Session.get URL. So this is very much similar to request.get URL. Okay, so in request.get URL you put proxies, header and everything. Similarly you can put proxies here also in session.get. You just need to mention proxy equals to whatever proxy you are implementing, and then you can enjoy the proxy thing too. Okay, so this is what asynchronous request is. This is how swiftly you can fetch the data from any of the website using asynchronous request, and this is what the beauty of it. So in next video we'll be talking about how you can implement asynchronous request along with proxies, and you can bypass rate limiting, because people must be thinking, oh man, this will not work with rate limiting, but I'll tell you like this can work with rate limiting too. So do subscribe my channel for next update. Thanks for watching this video. Bye everyone.